just buying software won't solve your problem, but investing in your team to grow their talent, to grow their knowledge, bringing in outside resources as needed is really going to set you ahead, because you're going to be able to avoid a lot of the pitfalls that distributors find themselves falling into.
So guys, we were previously talking about e-commerce, and there was so much interest from clients and prospects in the industry, from distribution, that were really looking to learn more about what they could be mindful of as they're trying to implement their e-commerce strategy, no matter where they're at, whether it's an immature all the way to a very mature state. So let's just dive into some additional points here. Jason, I'll start with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So talent is always greater than tech. And what that means is that, if you have the right team in place, and you may not have the best software out there, you can still win. As a matter of fact, if I have to choose, I will take a talented team of folks from distribution and folks from digital, and compete with the folks that are buying the high-end platforms just using open source, because at the end of the day, it's that knowledge and that passion that's going to drive those projects to be successful. Just buying software won't solve your problem, but investing in your team to grow their talent, to grow their knowledge, bringing in outside resources as needed is really going to set you ahead, because you're going to be able to avoid a lot of the pitfalls that distributors find themselves falling into.
Jason, I think that's a great point. The other point I think that it would be important to talk about is you have to make sure that the shipping, the actual fulfillment process, is very clean and tidy as a distributor. There's so many cases of where you'll work with a distributor who maybe has to ship an order that is placed online from 4 different locations with 4 different shipping charges. So instead of being able to ship a single order like you do most of the time from your branch, you've got a customer that's got to receive it 4 times, put it away 4 times. So you have to have your fulfillment strategy worked out. You have to be able to make that experience for online orders just like it would be when they call into your branch. Jason, you got anything to add?
No, I think that's right on target. I mean, obviously with fulfillment, if you're, at the end of the day, you're a distributor, you have to be able to deliver the product on time within that expected time frame if you're going to keep your customers happy.
Yeah, and I think another thing that could really help distributors here, guys, is really understanding how their customers purchase today and trying to map out that customer journey, because things have changed in how end customers actually research products, start to inquire about products and how they purchase and how they even support products thereafter. So for distributors to be able to get a recent view of how their customers purchase and what that buyer journey is, they could really create a excellent digital experience to help emulate and enhance that buyer experience from a digital standpoint.
That's a good point, James. And, I want to call out another sort of big issue that we see in distribution, and is, we're driving, but we're not necessarily slowing down to test our assumptions, right? And so many times we're making assumptions about what our customers want. If I could tell you the number of times I've sat down with, business leaders, distribution leaders, and they said, oh, our customers don't use mobile. And, it's one of those rare things where I've found myself to be in the right 100% of the time. If your customers don't use mobile, that is extremely rare. And I seriously doubt that that's the case, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to assess where they are and how they're interacting with you. And so if you're just making those kind of assumptions, you could be leaving a lot of money on the table.
Yeah, great point, Jason. I think another thing too that we've talked about here, guys, and we've seen work extremely well to help distributors get their arms around where they're at and how they can continue to build a strategy that actually increases value, is doing a digital assessment of where your business is today, where your e-com strategy is here today, and gauge that on a maturity scale of not very mature all the way through to very mature and very advanced. And that digital assessment really breaks down into 3 categories. There's people, there's process, and there's technology. because this is not as simple as just buying a piece of technology, implementing it, and your customers come in. You have to have the right team in place to support the ordering. You have to have the right processes to actually deliver a consistent experience to your customers, and you've got to have the technology to really help with that omni-channel experience. So guys, great insights. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks, James.
Thanks, James.
Thanks for watching today. If you liked what you heard and you want to put some of these ideas to use with your team, reach out to us at dorngroup.com. If you want to continue to receive more insights like these from manufacturers and distributors, follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube.